So, what if you could build a machine that takes one single idea and, poof, turns it into a fully published, SEO-optimized blog post? Well, today, that's exactly what we're breaking down. We're going to look at a super powerful automated workflow that's designed to completely transform how content gets made. Let's dive in and see how this thing actually works.
But first, let's be honest for a second. Does your current content process feel a little, well, broken? Are you constantly hitting bottlenecks, dealing with slow turnarounds, and getting results that are just all over the place? If you're sitting there nodding, trust me, you are not alone. These are the classic signs of a strained, traditional content process. And this right here, this really shows the massive shift we're talking about. We're moving away from a process that's broken up into silos, totally manual and just slow. And we're moving towards something that's unified, automated, and can scale like crazy. You gotta understand, this isn't just a little adjustment. It's a completely different way of thinking about how content gets made.
Okay, so to really appreciate the solution, we first have to get to know the villain of the story, right? So let's pinpoint that core problem, the content creation bottleneck that holds so many businesses back from growing. Here's exactly what that old way looks like. It's basically a fragmented assembly line. You've got your strategist over here, an SEO specialist there, then a writer, a designer, a content manager. Everyone is just passing the work back and forth. It sounds good in theory, but in practice, it just creates a slow, super expensive, and really disconnected process.
And you know what's really interesting here is how all these problems feed into each other. The bottlenecks, they create the slow turnarounds. All those handoffs between different people, that's where you get inconsistent quality. And all of that, of course, drives up your costs. So the bottom line is, this old way of doing things actively puts a ceiling on your business's ability to grow.
But what if there's a better way? Let's bring in the hero of our story, a new, automated workflow that's built from the ground up to solve every single one of those problems we just talked about. So the solution is this really elegant three-phase system. It all starts with strategy and research. Then it moves into content and image creation, and it finishes up with packaging and publication. You can almost think of it as an entire content team, all working perfectly in sync inside one single automated process.
This table just makes it so clear. I mean, look at that. All those separate jobs, the strategist, the SEO, the writer, the designer, the content manager, they all get consolidated into these three automated phases. It's not about replacing people. It's about consolidating functions to be as efficient as humanly, or I guess, as mechanically possible. All right, let's jump into phase one.
So, phase one. This is the first critical step inside our new workflow. In this phase, the system basically becomes your digital marketing strategist. It lays the entire foundation for a piece of content that's actually going to succeed.
Now, the system isn't just guessing here. It takes your core idea and it does all the heavy lifting. It goes out and analyzes what the top-ranking competitors are doing. It figures out the best keywords and what people are actually searching for. And it makes sure the whole plan aligns perfectly with your business goals. That means every single article is engineered to perform right from the very start.
Okay, with that rock-solid strategy in place, the system totally shifts gears. It becomes a full-stack creative team. This is where the magic really happens, and it does it all by itself.
The output here is pretty amazing. It's twofold. First, it writes a high-quality, totally unique article that's guided by all that research from phase one. But, and this is a huge deal, it also generates a custom, brand-aligned image by actually understanding the article's main ideas. So you can say goodbye to scrolling through endless pages of cheesy generic stock photos. Every post gets its very own unique visual identity.
All right, the content is written, the image is created. Now it's time for the final piece of the puzzle. Phase 3, the architect. This is the part that gets everything ready for a seamless, scalable publication process. This is the step that's going to save you countless hours of boring, tedious work. The system packages up the article and the image, and then it automatically generates all that necessary metadata. We're talking SEO titles, meta descriptions written to the perfect character count, social media tags, you name it. The whole package is then ready to be dropped right into your content management system. It's truly ready to publish.
So, when you bring all three of those phases together, what do you get? You get a predictable, scalable content machine that just works for you 24/7.
And you know, this might be the most important takeaway of all. This kind of automation isn't about getting rid of human input. It's about getting rid of the tedious, repetitive tasks that nobody likes to do anyway. This frees up your actual team to focus on what they do best, thinking big, higher-level strategy, and actually growing the business.
I mean, this quote from the source material just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just a small improvement. It fundamentally changes the nature of content production. It really shifts the entire game from manual labor to strategic oversight.
And the results? Well, they speak for themselves. This kind of system is built to drive predictable traffic, generate more leads, and consistently build your brand's authority in your space. The key point here is that it transforms content from just another expense into a true, scalable engine for business growth.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Just imagine for a second that you had a content engine that delivered consistently every single time without any of the bottlenecks or delays. What new heights could your business achieve? What big strategic goals could you finally start to reach?